Beyond the current controversy surrounding the existence of the ancient continent of Atlantis, there is also the question of where it might have been. The clues are vague and the search difficult. However, some discoveries are remarkable, only that the international media and the scientific community do not react to such situations, hoping that everything will fall into oblivion. Recognition of such a discovery would turn upside down everything that was believed to be true about mankind's past, evolution, epochs of development, ancient civilizations and technology of those times. Some clarifications. Most opinions converge towards placing Atlantis in the Atlantic Ocean, which is correct. One of the ancient depictions, in the view of Athanasius Kircher, gives a good idea of where Atlantis was, but it is incomplete. The following drawing shows a location that is closer to the geographical reality of Atlantis at that time. There are, however, a few observations to make. As I saw in the images on the holographic screen, the surface of Atlantis was relatively large, almost like a continent, occupying the center of the Atlantic Ocean. The northern part of the island, however, was a little lower, about to the right of today's Philadelphia. On the other hand, the shape of the island was more pronouncedly triangular, and Kircher's drawing is better in this respect. Also in Kircher's drawing, only two islands around the large island continent, which was Atlantis, are correctly depicted, but there is no mention of the islands to the right of Africa, one of which is somewhat smaller than present-day Sri Lanka. A proportional representation of what I saw as images is this. Later, after the first fragmentation of Atlantis, several islands did indeed appear around the central island, which could be considered as its suburbs. For example, the Azores are remnants of the upper islands that were part of Atlantis, as are the Cape Verde Islands, which are actually parts of the slightly larger island that existed to the right of Atlantis. However, the Canary Islands of the present day had no connection with the territory of Atlantis. On the other hand, the Bermuda Islands are currently fragments of the large island to the left of Atlantis. Around some of these islands, on the ocean floor, several remains can be found. For example, huge pyramids were built in the Bermuda area today, and there was a developed city in the Azores. In the northeastern part of Atlantis, towards Europe, there was even a fan of small islands, which are not shown in Kircher's drawing, but appear in the second drawing. Only small fragments of them, the Azores, remain, reminiscent of the great civilization of many thousands of years ago. The flourishing civilization of Atlantis. Interestingly, when Atlantis was in its creative flowering period, most of the population and life was concentrated on the coast of the islands and mainland. In the middle of it there was a lot of vegetation, aesthetically surrounding the great pyramids erected there, the giant spaceport and other buildings in the form of very tall towers. Much of the activity, however, was concentrated in the coastal areas of the island, where the bustle, both on the ground and in the air, was very great. Many regions of the great continent were circular, with rays leading to the center of the island. When the image approached them, I noticed that the rays were actually some kind of tubes with a fairly large diameter, probably for facilitating quick transport. Atlantis was known not only for its highly advanced civilization and culture, but also for being a central link between Earthlings and beings from other planets. There was a complex mix of Earth beings, belonging exclusively to the ENL branch, and many other types of beings from other planets in our galaxy. In this respect, there was not much difference from some of the scenes in the sci-fi films that have been released so far, even though this may seem incredible to many readers. Atlantis was highly evolved compared to the rest of the continents, much like we are today compared to a tribe in Amazonia or New Guinea. It not only had links with beings from other parts of the Earth, but, as I have said, it was also an important link with other civilizations in the universe, being an active part of cosmic trade and diplomacy in this region of the galaxy. In the middle of the island there is a huge spaceport, with a lot of activity of both Atlantean and alien ships of many types and sizes. Watching the images on the screen, I noticed that they corresponded broadly with other accounts of Atlantis, that have been presented over the years in books and on the internet. Earth had become a very important cosmic transit center, in the sense that extraterrestrial activity, especially diplomatic and commercial, was very intense. Many ships, of various sizes and shapes, came and went from our planet, using for this different platforms and terminals on the large island, but the largest and most important spaceport was the one in the middle of the Atlantean continent. In those images I could also see a kind of subtle X-ray of the Earth, in which its magnetic field was somewhat different from the current one. It was shown to me in a very ingenious way, that over a fairly large area above Atlantis the Earth's magnetic field showed many vortices, making it appear that there was a third pole of the planet there. This was a natural phenomenon, due to a massive deposit of specific metallic rocks that exist beneath the Earth's surface, corresponding to that area. This is why even in modern times there have been reports of strange phenomena, occurring in the Bermuda area. The existence of this third pole of the Earth's magnetic field, made it very easy for Earth and extraterrestrial spacecraft to enter and leave the Earth's atmosphere. This created corridors of aerial activity where friction with the air was much less and the action of gravity was weaker. For the ships of advanced civilizations this was of little importance, as their technology was not dependent on such forces, but at that time the Atlanteans had many other links with medium-developed civilizations, whose ships depended on those aspects. The technology of such civilizations had not, for example, reached the level of highly advanced propulsion systems based on quantum elements or special force fields, nor did they have the knowledge to generate energy shields, strong enough around their ships to cancel out frictional or inertial effects.